Gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. You look good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Monday, August 18th. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It is the first day of school here in the Randazzo household. So I'm so happy. I mean, let me take that back. I miss them so much. I hope they're all having a great day. No, I really do. I hope they're having a great day. But yeah, school's back in session for my kids. I know for a lot of kids on the Illinois side, the Iowa side doesn't start until next Monday. So one more week for them to enjoy the summer. But yeah, life's going to be a little easier doing this show without having to make sure 4 kids aren't trying to kill themselves downstairs. So it is a happy Monday here on Off There with Matt Randazzo. Thank you guys for joining us. If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you for that. We appreciate that. If you're watching us later on YouTube, that's awesome as well. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend or 2 or 10 about what we're doing here in the Quad Cities each and every weekday at 10 a.m. Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. It's been a ton of fun so far. We're also live on X. X is always very good to us, so we appreciate that as well. And then we are available on all the podcasting platforms as well. So check us out on Spotify, on Apple, on Podbean, on iHeart, you name it. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to the show Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. A little tired this morning. What a great night last night it was. Myself and Greg Armstrong from View from the West did a little show, a live show. It was the View from the West Off the Air kickoff party for the high school football season in Illinois. We did it down at the other bar in Moline, and it was a better night than I could have possibly imagined. When we start doing shows like this, you get used to them. When I started doing this, I was more concerned about the technology side of things that I was filling up a show every day or talking for every day. And then we've taken the show on the road. We went to Oscars for the NFL draft. That was a blast. We got to get back to Oscars. I got to bug T-Roy. We went to the John Deere Classic and crashed to Andrew Lehman's office and did shows from the John Deere Classic. That was awesome. Recently, a couple weeks ago, we were live at Iowa Media Day. And did a fun show from up there. And then last night we did a show from the other bar. And it was awesome. It was awesome to see the people that showed up. You know, when Greg and I started talking about doing it, we were like, gosh, I don't know, hope some people show up. We can call some coaches maybe, but, I mean, easily 50, 60 people at the bar, listening to us talk about high school football. Some coaches talk about high school football. It was so much fun. We got to thank our sponsors for allowing us to do it. I know that I'm focusing on my side of things. I don't want to forget about Greg's, but on my side of things, when it comes to Off the Air, we got to thank Godfathers. Andy Furman supplied some pizza for us. Really good pizza. I had no idea, and Andy will be listening to this, and I texted him last night. The cinnamon dessert pizza at Godfather's is stupid good. It was really, really good. So thank you to Godfather's. Thank you to Snoop's hooking us up with some chips and salsa. So everyone was happy and crunching and eating chips and salsa, and that was great. We've got to thank Tim O'Neill and Mobile Party Experience setting up the party trailer outside, kind of adding to the event even a little bit more. The other bar was awesome as well for allowing us to get in there. So we had a ton of fun, and we appreciate everyone who came out, coaches, athletes, all those kind of things. It had Greg and I thinking, man, how can we do more of this? So that's the idea. We'll eventually have some ideas. If you guys have ideas, let us know, because that's the beauty of kind of what we're doing these days is throwing stuff at a wall, seeing if it sticks. Last night's show stuck. It was a lot of fun. So what we're going to be doing today, because I had to tear down the set from the bar, bring it back here, get it all set up, and work on all that kind of stuff today. We're going to look back at last night's show. So it means this show is packed with a bunch of great stuff. But coming up in a little bit, we'll hear from Nick Welch and Mike Morrissey. Always great to have those two rival coaches on set at the same time together. So that was a ton of fun. We'll have them in a little bit. It was awesome to see the Pioneers in the house last night as well. New head coach Tom Barber and some Pioneers were in full effect, which we love. So we'll hear from the new Alleman head coach coming up later in hour number one. It was cool last night because we looked out and we saw Cullen Schwigen, and then quarterback at Rock Ridge, outstanding quarterback, outstanding young man. And then in walks Chip Filler with Kale Filler, a really good quarterback, outstanding quarterback for Orion. And we're like, I turned to Greg and I said, well, let's get those two on here together. So that segment was awesome. So Kale and Cullen coming up in a little bit as well. And then we talked with a lot of, we're not going to get to everybody from last night. You can check out the show last night if you want to, but we're going to do the guy Dierikx and Jeremy Adolphson. They sat down and chatted with us as well. So some of the highlights from last night throughout today's show, to kind of fill up today's show. And then we're going to get rocking and rolling. I want to remind people, Thursday's show last week, we had Chase and Randall on. Go check that one out. We've been doing the high school football previews throughout the last 2 weeks as well. So go check out your school. We'll continue those this week as well. Get back to the Iowa side of the river. I'm checking on some schools over there as well. So lining up Chad Leistico, hopefully, to come on the show to talk about the Iowa Hawkeyes. They get started in less than 2 weeks. Jake Brend, our good friend Jake Brend, is over in Ireland as we speak. We're going to try to catch up with him this week as well. A lot of great stuff that we're working on for this week. The last week before it's not game week, if that makes any sense, for both high schools and colleges as well. So a lot of great stuff to get to throughout this week right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. But before we do that, I want to get to some headlines, some news from the weekend before we get into our guests for the day and everything as well. And I'm really excited about this. Congratulations to our guy, Corey Ross. The IFL awards have been coming out, and the Wheelers extremely well represented, and we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. But the coach of the year is this dude right here, Corey Ross, longtime head coach of the Steam Wheelers, all around amazing dude. But as you can see, number one seed, they hosted their first playoff game in 18 years. They won a playoff game. You can see the amount of talent on that team that they assembled, and the amount of the offense, number 2 in yards per play, number 1 rush offense in yards per carry. So many great things. And he did it all with a torn Achilles. He did that to start the season. So one of the best people you're going to meet. We're efforting, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have Corey Ross in studio here tomorrow. I'm bribing him with, I'm going to bribe him with a little bit of leftover Snoop's chips and salsa. So we'll get him out here and talk with Corey Ross and kind of wrap up the season for the Wheelers, because it was an amazing season. We loved our partnership that we got to do with them. Every Wednesday was Wheelers Wednesday, and it spilled into some Mondays and some Fridays and everything else. So congratulations to Corey Ross. He is the IFL Coach of the Year. We'll catch up with him tomorrow right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Of course, football dominating the weekend. No football college-wise yet, but the NFL preseason is in full swing. And boy, if you looked at social media last night, the big story is the Bears won the Super Bowl. Well, actually, they just won a preseason game, but it was a step in the right direction. And I will say that with Bears fans. They dominated the Bills. Here's the first drive of the game, first touchdown of the game. Caleb Williams touchdown pass. He played well. 6 of 10. I can't remember the yardage, but a touchdown, 2 series. They played well. The entire offense playing well for the Bears. So it's good to see. And obviously, I'm not going to sit up here as a non-Bears fan and say, who cares? I mean, you have to take some solace in knowing that, you know, it's a great step in the right direction. I will also say, and you can look at the numbers, they're awesome. 528 yards total offense compared to the Bills' 180. So a dominating performance on national TV, what you wanted to see if you were a Bears fan and heading in the right direction. But I'd pump the brakes just a little bit. Buffalo didn't play their starters. They played against second and third stringers and all those kind of things. But again, if you're a Bears fan, you haven't seen offense like that. So it doesn't matter if they're playing, Ambrose, or if they're playing, no offense to Ambrose, but if they're playing Ambrose, if they're playing high school, whatever, you want to see that kind of stuff. So Ben Johnson is as good of an offensive mind as there is in the game. I'll tell you that. I'm a big Lions fan. I won't argue that. His pieces in Detroit were amazing last year. They looked good last night in a preseason game against backups. So pump the brakes a little bit. But obviously, if you're a Bears fan, be encouraged because it's the first step. And if they were really bad, then you would just say it's a preseason game. They were really good. It's a preseason game. But being really good is a lot better than being really bad. So we'll talk more Bears this week. I've got a few ideas with pro football and the Bears. And also, I will tell you this, we're going to do a OTA survivor pool. So get ready for that. That's going to come out this week. You can get signed in. Anybody who doesn't know what survivor is, you pick one team to win, you advance. If that team loses, you're out. If they win, you advance to the next week. You just can't use that team again. And you survive throughout the season and last man standing and all that kind of stuff as well. So we'll do that. We'll get that out to you guys coming up in the next couple weeks as well. Also, one more basketball note. I saw this morning. I thought it was awesome. Jordan Delp and Augustana announcing their recruiting class for this season. A lot of great players, a lot of good players, a big class. 4 local kids, 3 of them are transfers. Former Rock Island standout Marion Anderson and former Rock Island standout Cam Atkinson coming back to their home city and going back to Augustana. And then Andre Claver, a really talented, really good basketball player for Sterling a few years ago, transferring back home to Augustana. Or back home-ish. I mean, he's Sterling, but back to the Quad City area. Those 3 alone, coming from a JUCO and 2 D2 schools, I think. Really, really exciting. And then another familiar name, Cole Bidenborn was part of the recruiting class as well. So Pleasant Valley standout, son of women's basketball coach Mark Bidenborn. So really cool to see that as well. So also, we're efforting to catch up with Jordan Delp. So just texted Jordan, and hopefully we can get him on the show sometime this week as well, because I think that's cool. I love Augustana basketball is always really relevant, I should say, in my mind, and in the Quad Cities. And I love the greatest success that they had. And yes, Krishan Orange and Nolan Ebel and some of those guys weren't Quad City kids, but yeah, there was always that Quad City tie. Tavian Johnson, Dylan Sortillo. There was always that guy that kind of brought the Quad Cities together. A couple of them, usually the Roars, all that as well. So I'm missing some, so don't yell at me. But cool to see them tap back in to the Quad City talent. So we'll catch up with Jordan Delp throughout this week sometime, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. We got to start getting things figured out this week as well. But we're excited. It should be a fun week here on OTA. And again, it was a fun week, an amazing night, I should say, last night at the other bar. We had so much fun, and we had a fun segment where you put rivals together. Nick Welch and Mike Morrissey chatting with us last night on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo and the View from the West kickoff party show at the other bar. Take a look and take a listen to a fun segment between 2 good coaches in the Western Big Six. This should be fun. Obviously, United Township head coach Nick Welch, Moline head coach Mike Morrissey. Why are all your guys eating all the food? Gorgle just moved. He'd been there the whole time.
I mean, I think you might be the only smart guys in the building right now.
Yeah.
The food's sitting over there. Like, why don't you take advantage of it?
A quick reminder, Godfather's Pizza and Snoop's Chips and Salsa over in the corner as you guys listen to us talk about football.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so here we go. We already talked to Rick Little from Quincy. Coach, I'll start. I don't even know where I want to start.
You got to start with the best-looking coach in the Quad Cities.
Okay,
I mean, we got to start there.
I was going to get in trouble if I started one way or the other.
I knew it was coming there sooner or later.
This is going to be fun.
It's never going away.
It might go away.
Keep being good-looking, man.
So, Coach, we talked to Quincy. This year, Quincy looks different. I feel like the last couple years, this conference was very much like, who can beat Quincy? Can somebody knock Quincy off? This year, it feels like there's opportunities to kind of climb up and maybe be the top of the standings. Do you feel that? Do you kind of sense that coming into this season?
I think they still have a really good system in place, and I think they're at the point now that they've kind of established themselves where they can just plug guys in, make some simple adjustments, and their machine will keep running really smooth. So I think they're going to be just fine. I do think, we've talked about it a little bit recently. The conference kind of has a 2017 feel to me. Where it's really a toss-up on any Friday night, who could come in, who could beat anybody. And that was pretty much the way I felt like coming in my first year in 2017. Was like, we knew Quincy was really good. We thought Alleman was really good. There were some other teams that were really competitive. And we're like, it could be anybody's game, really, on a Friday night. If you show up and your kids are more focused than the other side and more hungry to get that, you're going to be in a battle. So I get that feel from this season.
So do you also get the sense the conference is wide open, like, UT can beat Moline every year?
Well, that has not been proven, but I think that, I go back the last 4 years. I mean, the 2 years before that, I think Moline was kind of the upper echelon. We all kind of came in, we knew that, the talent that they had, and then the last 2 years with Coach Little's squad, starting with his son, and then just a bunch of dudes everywhere. They were a very complete team, and that showed the last 2 years with their quarterfinal runs and then running into the Catholic school. So, any Friday night, any given Sunday, they say, any Friday night, anything can happen. But, it's nice to see a little unknown. And I think it makes the Western Big Six exciting for everybody and fans. And, I was making a joke with some people about, the Big Six kickoff. I feel like everybody knows about everyone's team already because of social media, so they don't come out to it, but they still come out to the games on Fridays. But it's an opportunity to listen to some good jokes and average commentator.
I'm so excited. I got stuff already ready to go.
I'm sure you do. But honestly, though, it's a great thing, and I think it's a really competitive conference and really well-coached teams, and there's athletes everywhere, and there's size and physicality, so it's going to be a fun fall.
Okay, first off, are you good? Because the sun comes through, it's glaring off his shaved legs. So are you good? Are you good?
It must be just a long career of taped ankles. It just went above the knee,
Let me show Greg how to do this. Hey, congratulations. You're a new dad once again. How is the baby? How is the lovely wife? Everything good?
Every day I feel like he's becoming more likable, that he's sleeping a little better.
Are you talking about Greg or the baby?
The baby. The baby. No, Greg's great. No, seriously. We all know, as coaches, our wives carry the load, right? And we start school early, so August 4th, he wasn't even a month old, and, we've been having long days, and, she wears it well, and obviously got great support system with our in-laws living 25 minutes away, but new baby's good, and Harper's a great big sister. She needs to learn her strength a little bit, but, it's a blessing from God, and I'm thankful for a beautiful wife and a beautiful family.
Watch this segue.
Yeah.
Speaking of babies, you finally got your field turf.
We did.
What's that like to have it in the field and all that
Well,
kind of
I don't
stuff?
know because I haven't been able to hold it yet. So we're still kind of in that infant stage. Now, I do want to say this regarding like children and things like that. Like, they're amazing. They're young at that age. It's so like to watch them grow. My daughters are now at the point, right? And I talked to Corey Kuffler about this the other day. So we've talked about like the second round of the playoff thing over and over again. So like they're really sweet and they're awesome when they're little and like you love those memories. And then they get to become teenage girls. And you're getting into about something or da-da-da, and the first thing out of their mouth is like, well, are you ever going to get out of the second round of the playoffs? And it's like, so, they're sweet, and daughters are sweet, man, until a certain point.
Wait till Harper asks if you're ever going to make the playoffs.
I just
Hopefully by then we cover
Wow.
that. I might be out of a job. I might be out of a job if we don't have him by then.
But back to the field is awesome. We're super excited about it. Our kids are super anxious to get on it. And so, it's going to be cool. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
But how are you going to let the grass grow inches long if you have turf now?
I'm going to be honest. We've talked about it. Like Kevin Gorgel and Crick Sandmore and I have talked about this a bunch. Like back in the day, that was the joke. Like you grow it longer so Rock Island looks slower. I feel like we've had some pretty decent speed over the last 8-9 years. So that's never, except maybe 23. Like that's never really applied to our kids. Like you've always felt like our guys could run. So just let it be, man. Let it be. It's good stuff.
Those poor 23 kids are sitting listening to this going like,
I mean, I love them. I said I don't love those kids. Yeah, we struggle a little bit. It is what it is.
All right. So we talked about, the conferences, maybe more open than it was in the last couple of years. You return a lot of players. What are you excited about? What do you see in your team overall that you bring back?
I think any team is player-led, no matter the level. But high school teams got to be led by seniors and such a strong senior class. Just watching them work every day and the standard that they've continued to set, and I think they're just raising the bar for the rest of the program. When you don't have to get on your kids about going hard during individual time and not getting bored with the everyday drills, it has a great impact on the other guys, because we practice together as a program, all levels at the Soul Bowl. When you're looking over and you got a guy like Tristan Wallerab giving 100% effort in his own line drills, well, if you're a fresh off offensive lineman, you don't know any better. Yeah. So I'm just really excited to watch those guys play, and I think we've got a good group of kids. I think they love football, and they're excited about finally hitting somebody else for real on Friday. We got Davenport North coming, but we got to earn it every day. Every day is a new challenge, and we can't look past anything but, having a great practice tomorrow, and we live in that moment, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, you get to talk to that guy? I got to talk to this guy? All right. Well, everyone knows Moline's going to be awesome. Tell us how awesome you guys are going to be.
I mean, we'll be competitive. We like our kids, obviously. We do bring back a lot of guys that contributed for us last year, and there's a lot of other guys that have kind of stepped up into their role, and I think they're excited about contributing a little bit more. So, I mean, we got a good group. Obviously, our non-conference schedule is very challenging, so we're going to learn a lot about ourselves really, really quickly in those first 2 weeks. But I think everybody's anxious and excited about getting going and hitting somebody else. We go to Davenport Assumption next week, for the Gilly Bowl to play against those guys, and excited about that. And I think our players are excited to see him again, which makes it, again, another cool environment and something fun for our kids and our community. And so we like our group. We've got to continue to get better just like anybody else. And where the fundamentals is obviously where it starts, and obviously that's always our focus. But, we do like our kids. We're excited about them in this chapter.
I'll ask both of you guys, and I'll start with Coach Welch. How do you look at this conference, I guess? And, I mean, Little's here, so Quincy must be good. Schlemmer bailed, so they must be struggling. How do you look at the conference, and how do you see it as a whole? I think it's going to be super competitive.
I mean, I said this to Coach Little, and I mean it. Their kids don't know anything else. The kids in that building don't know anything else except for being really competitive and winning. And that winning is contagious. I firmly believe in that. Coach Morrissey and the school down the road, they've been at the top every year, competing and being really relevant, not just in the conference but in the state. Sterling is a really well-coached team. And sometimes you turn the film on and they might not have the biggest dudes on the field, but they're aggressive. They play like their head coach is, right? So, we talked about Geneseo getting better. They're going to be young in some spots, but they're only going to be better in year 2 under Coach Furlong, who's a really, really good coach. And then, we've got some uncertainties, and not in a bad way, but, we don't know how, some of those other teams are going to shake out. They're figuring it out just like we're figuring it out. So I'm excited. Like I said, I think the Fridays in the fall are going to be really fun, and I think that, if you go over and find the people making high school spreads, I think the spreads are going to be pretty close on a lot of Fridays.
People do that?
Oh, they do that. You know that too.
No, don't you look at me.
Coach, one more for you. Talk about how much did winning a playoff game at home last year kind of just help propel momentum in this program? Because, if you go a couple years and there's, either lack of playoffs or, no wins, it's hard, right, for them to see that. So how much did that mean? How much you talk about that and moving on,
I mean, it's just exciting. Like, that's something that's always been a goal for our kids in our program, is to get playoff wins. We haven't had a ton of them in our school history, really. So when they can accomplish that, they've kind of separated themselves and that group from others maybe that have come before them. So that's the standard, and that's the expectation of what they expect now. It's always like, hey, a conference championship is great. A state title is really what everybody's chasing, and I think everybody in our conference, has that same goal. Whether it's realistic or not every year is up to everybody else. Like, internally, you're thinking a state championship is what we're chasing, and obviously playoff wins is a part of that. And not to piggyback on this stuff, but man, when I saw Rick in this building, I couldn't tell you how disappointed I was to see him. Because I'm like, frickin' A, man, like, seriously. Because when this cat shows up in the Quad Cities, that they got a good team, always. Like, and now he's enjoying his pizza, so I know they're really going to be all right. But what are we doing?
I hadn't met him till last year.
Shoot, I barely could recognize him in a crowd before a couple years ago, and now he's here all the time. So they're going to be awesome. Obviously, UT is going to have a really good football team. Geneseo is going to be really, really competitive. They won some playoff game last year. There's a lot. Sterling's always Sterling. So that's what makes it fun. I think all of us as coaches in our conference, for the most part, get along with the exception of those Friday nights when we're all focused on our team, and we want what's best for each other. I think that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, you think they get along. Nobody likes them.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
All right, so similar question for you. What are you talking about with your players? Obviously, the playoffs are the goal for every team. It's been a drought for United Township, but you were close, right? Like, it's every year it's close. What do you talk to about these players? What do you tell these players, and what are the goals? What are the conversations?
Close is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades, really. So, what are you going to do different?
Yeah.
What more are you willing to do? Because I'll be honest, like, we might not have had that outcome of being a playoff team, but it's not from a lack of effort.
Yeah.
You know, these kids wake up all off season at 6 a.m. and lift, like a lot of schools do. They show up all summer, they work hard, they take notes during meetings, they're studying film, they're probably watching too much Huddle during school based on the emails I get from their teachers. But at the same time, like, if you're just doing what everyone else is doing, you're not separating. So you got to be willing to do a little bit more and get an edge. And, I love when kids text me, Coach, can we go to the field? Coach, can we go? I'm like, hey, dude, it's raining. Yeah, I got to get some work in. Like, all right, well, I don't got to get some work in the rain, but we can figure something out. So maybe I'll clean the back room while they're getting work in. And like I said, it starts with our seniors. So our goals, don't tell me this is coach talk. We're scrimmaging tomorrow, and we want to have a great scrimmage. We want to stay healthy. And then the day after that, we got to keep building, keep getting better.
Yeah.
How boring is that? Bunch of cliche. No, the rivalry between the two schools. I mean, you say the school down the road. You're not. Is it a healthy rivalry? Is it a good rivalry? Like, how would you describe it?
I love it.
I mean,
I think it's gotten better. I mean, honestly, like years ago, like and Coach Gore, Kevin will tell you this. Like, there was a long time where it wasn't competitive at all. It was just not a competitive football game, and now that's changed. And I think because it's changed and it's become competitive, it means more to the kids and it means more to communities, and like you get a little bit more fired up. Obviously, our coaching staffs all know each other pretty well, so that makes it a little more exciting as well. And so I mean, I think it's become a much better game for both communities, and which makes brings excitement, which is cool. That's what you want. You want these games to mean something to these kids more than just like, oh hey, we gotta try to get a win on a Friday night. Like, it means a little bit more. I think that's neat.
I mean, our kids grew up either playing together or playing against each other. So there's an element to that, and I think that's fun. I think that's cool. And honestly, for us, it's always been like they're at the top, so that's a high bar, right? If we can compete with them, then we can compete with anybody. For a long time we hadn't beat them. Stockpile posts these interesting to-dos, and like I'm always like, on one hand you're like, wow, we didn't beat them since 1988 at home. That's embarrassing, but at the same time it's like, okay, yeah, good for our kids and good for our school and our community, but it's a really competitive environment. I think our schools it's not just football, but even on a Friday night in basketball and baseball, we've been the top two teams the last couple of years. In track, we've won the league in track, but Moline's right there every year. Like, it's important to our kids and our communities. And then they're not just competing in football either. Like, you got a lot of multiple sport athletes that are doing really good things. And at the end of the day, like, I feel like there's a mutual respect as well that's grown. And he said it, like, we didn't really like each other before, but now, like, we host 7-on-7, we invite Mike, like, because they're a good football team. They're well coached. They're going to make us better, and I hope that we're making them better. And so when we do see them on a Friday night, it's two teams that are going to play the right way, different styles, but at the outcome, we're trying to do the same thing. We want to establish the line of scrimmage. We want to play good defense and win the football game. So I think it's fun.
I will say, as a tease ahead to our Western Big Six preview, which comes out on Tuesday, between Mitch and myself, one of us picked UT to win the conference, one of us picked Moline.
Ooh.
I won't say where it goes. You got to listen.
I like the tease. Well, before we let you guys go, I want to thank Coach Welch for the second year in a row he partook in my dad's golf outing, my dad's memorial golf outing, because he's no longer with me. I've invited Mike every year, but I guess my dead father's not.
Oh my gosh!
So, I mean,
wow. We all probably need another drink after this one.
I'll ask Gorgle. Maybe
Goodness. I mean, Bailey showed up one year, right?
Who did?
Matthew? He was going to represent.
He did. But that didn't count.
I think he was wearing an eye, though.
Yeah. Matthew Bailey made the trip 3 hours.
He did.
You couldn't make the trip 20 minutes. That's fine. It's good. I mean, I get it. He doesn't have any young kids, so Nick does have.
To be fair, I've seen him at TBK, and I know those afternoons are miserable. So he's probably stuck there.
Gosh. Look, we live playing travel sports, man.
To be fair,
it's taking over.
Yep.
It's taking over.
To be fair, Greg's never shown up either. So I guess if we're throwing people under the bus,
Stick together.
Strays.
Hang out together.
You're catching strays.
we're going to stick together on this.
all right. Well,
All right.
we do appreciate these guys doing it.
Absolutely. No, thank you both so much for being here.
Yeah,
Good luck
appreciate
this
you guys.
season.
This is awesome.
The Western Big Six preview podcast comes out on Tuesday morning. That's the last one. We previewed every conference that we cover. So Western Big Six last, but certainly not least. Thank you guys. I think it's going to be a fun year. I think it's going to be a ton of competition. I'm excited to see how it plays out. So,
All right.
awesome.
It will be a good year in the Western Big Six. That was a lot of fun to have Coach Morrissey and Coach Welch join us last night on the View from the West off the air kickoff show, looking at high school football in the state of Illinois. And I feel bad now. I kind of put Coach Morrissey, kind of made him feel bad. Maybe he'll come to my dad's golf outing next year. We'll see. But anyways, we got a lot more to get to here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. We're looking back at last night's fantastic, fun live show down at the other bar in Moline. Coming up after the break, we're going to stick with the Western Big Six theme, and we're going to talk to new Alleman head coach Tom Barber. I'll be a little biased. We'll talk Pioneers, that, and a lot more right now, right here on Off the Air on a Monday in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo, now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Man, did I eat me some Godfathers last night. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. In fact, not just last night. I just went downstairs because there was a couple pieces of the dessert pizza left. And yeah, Godfathers for breakfast. It's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. We are live on a Monday in the Quad Cities. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we appreciate that. X, always great to us. It's a fun, good day here in the Randazzo household because my kids are back in school. So the good news for them is it's only a half day, not because of heat, like half the other schools in Illinois, but that's just the way it was scheduled. So we're going to go to Chick-fil-A after this. So that's like the Randazzo family tradition, first day of school. You get out, you go to lunch, you go to Chick-fil-A. So it's a good Monday here in the Quad City. Speaking of food, and I'm doing enough of it between everything else, I got to thank Brian Stockpile's mom. I call her Mama Stockpile, Mother Stockpile. She always, for the last several years, would send Stockpile, when he came to the station, on a Friday, she would send me, I love cookies and creams Hershey's. So cookies and cream Hershey's, if I said that right. So she brought a couple packs. She sent them with Brian yesterday. So Stockpile delivered them, and this might be dinner. The way I'm going right now, I'll be 300 pounds before the end of the week. But thank you to Mother Stockpile for taking care of me, as she always does. As we mentioned last night, we did a live show from the other bar in Moline, high school football on topic, on our minds, and it was cool because we knew that there were going to be a lot of coaches there. We looked up, we saw Rockridge standout quarterback Cullen Schwigen came in, and then Chip Filler came in, and Kale Filler, his son, Orion quarterback, right behind him. And I looked at Greg and I said, Greg, that's what we need to do. Like, let's have those two on at the same time, chat about being quarterbacks and at the high level and playing at a high level and the respect for each other and all those kind of things. So we did that. So without further ado, here is Cullen Schwigen and Kale Filler from last night's live show down at the other bar in Moline. The View from the West kickoff party was a lot of fun. Here's two of the best quarterbacks in our entire area.
So
we went up a class, obviously.
Here we go. All right, well, these two are definitely better quarterbacks than anyone I've ever talked to on the show.
Yeah, it's like our panel got more athletic. It's like Greg and I who just talk about football, and then two guys that play at a high level.
All right, here we go. Let's introduce him. Kale Filler, head coach of the Orion Chargers.
Quarterback.
What'd I say?
Not head coach yet.
Head coach. Oh, no.
Not head coach yet.
Quarterback of the Orion Chargers. We have Cullen Schwigen, quarterback of the Rockridge Rockets, competing against each other, rivals in the Three Rivers Athletic Conference. Kale, I'll start with you as the senior. Talk about, you guys have played each other growing up for a long time, and on our podcast, we've gone back and forth and talked about the numbers you both put up. How fun is it to kind of, be competing against each other and knowing that each one, you got to give it every week to keep those numbers,
It's great. Having a competitor like Cullen is amazing. Being able to compare myself and just make myself better compared to him is just having that guy in the conference is awesome to have.
Yeah.
And it's cool for me because I can remember when you were like the ball boy. I remember like hanging out on the sidelines, and that makes me feel really old. But
well, yeah.
Talk about being in a program, obviously, that you know a lot about, but you're the starting quarterback at a high school that you know a lot about. You probably dreamt of this. Kind of talk about the journey to get ball boy starting quarterback.
Growing up, Orion's always had a lot of great quarterbacks in the past. Colton Schulenberg, Dawson Schulenberg, it's been a very family history, like brothers, Mattson, Schulenbergs, all that. And being able to watch them as I grow up and, now breaking some of their records is pretty cool. Being able to compare myself to them and just know how much my work has paid off, with the stats and all that compared to them.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Cullen, thank you so much for being here. Talk about, on your side on the Rock Ridge, you see the numbers that he's putting up, and as a year younger than him, talk about that rivalry, that connection. When you see him putting up some big passing stats and you're trying to, compete with that, how much fun is that?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like trying to see what Kale does. It's like, all right, I'm going to try to do the same thing or maybe even better. It just goes on like game day. Just like, oh, wonder what Kale did tonight and go see what happened.
Yeah. I mean, I mean it when I say that we've talked about both of you guys as the quarterbacks in the area, not just in your conference, but I would think the best quarterbacks in our area between both you guys and the numbers you put up and the way you lead your programs. Cullen, talk about Rockridge this year and what are you excited about, as a quarterback coming back again, what's around you?
Yeah, I'm excited for our wide receivers. Everything. Our line looks pretty well. Wide receivers look really good with Owen Steele, Chase Wheatley, Liam Steele, and like Wyatt Osborne. He's kind of the sleeper we have. But yeah, otherwise, I think we look pretty good. Hopefully, we can be healthy and stay disciplined through the whole season.
Yep, absolutely.
It's funny because I had Coach Graves on my show last week sometime. And he talked about the expectations at Rockridge isn't to make the playoffs. It's what you do when you get there. What's that like as a player? Because the tradition is there, so it's not about getting 6 wins, is it?
No, it's about being disciplined in every game and coming prepared for every week, for every team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kale, talk about this Three Rivers Athletic Conference, and we talked about it on our preview show. I really think that when you look top to bottom, there's a chance that every team is competing for the playoffs. You know, not just winning records. I think they're competing for the playoffs. What do you think as you head into your senior year about your program this year?
I mean, I think we have a really good chance. But like you said, I mean, it's going to be a battle every week. So we're going to have to worry about going 1-0 every week. You know, just focusing on ourselves, focusing on the team that's ahead of us, not really looking into the future.
Yeah. Cullen, what do you think when you look at this conference? It seems like top to bottom, it's getting more competitive every year, and there's teams that you can't look at last year's record, you know. So what do you think when you look at this conference top to bottom?
Yeah, everyone's bringing dudes back, and you don't know what underclassmen they have. Like I heard Riverdale's got some big freshmen coming in.
Yeah.
Who knows there? Yeah, everyone has guys coming back.
Yeah.
No, I'm just proud because I haven't called him Chip. I haven't called you Chase.
Well, I called him the head coach earlier.
Yeah,
so you know.
I'm proud of myself that I've done that. Before we let you guys go, and I guess Cullen, you what is this next 2 weeks like? Getting ready? Is it get to a point where you're ready to hit somebody else? You want to get going, or what are these next 2 weeks like before you get to do it for real on a Friday night?
It's definitely the longest 2 weeks of the year. You're just anticipating that first Friday. But it's just whatever, you got to bring it every single day before the first game. This is the biggest game of the year. I feel like everyone's going to be fresh. Everyone's going to have their most energy. The first game of the year is always the hardest, I feel like.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Kale, I got to ask you, I talked to your dad on my show. What's it been like playing for him? And you can say the bad stuff too. I don't want to make this too nice and lovey-dovey, but what's it like been playing for a guy that probably taught you most of what you know about the game of football?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, getting to learn the game from him, getting to learn the offense from him, I feel like that's why I've succeeded so much, is I know a lot. I've learned from the best mind in probably the state about our offense, about
pump the brakes on that. Let's not get carried away.
But also what's helped me is, I mean, him ripping into me every practice is, I mean, I've thrown a completion and he's marking them up. If I'm playing scout team quarterback, I've had to go against our varsity defense my whole life. So, I mean, he's ripping into me if I can't complete a go ball in the double coverage. So no matter where he's telling me to throw the ball, it's always expected. It's got to be on the money. It's got to be caught. Even if it's a drop, that's on me. No matter where I put it, it's on me. He's going to rip into me. And, you know, playing Rockridge and Sherrard, it really makes it pretty easy. I can handle anything like they want any of their players say to me, because they can't say anything worse than what he said to me. So
you're saying Chip's energetic and loud? I would have never thought that.
Who's the better quarterback?
Me or him?
Yeah.
Oh, me. 100%.
There you go. That was a pretty easy answer.
I thought you just asked those two. I was like, let's not do that.
Who's the better quarterback, you or your dad?
Me.
Well, that's easy.
That's a default one.
I love how dads are sitting next to each other. They're all lovey-buddy now. Yeah. And what week do you guys play?
5.
Week 5?
5 or 6. 5 or 6.
All right. Hey, that's the right answer. Game 1. Right. One game at a time. You should know when they play. One game at a time.
One more question. I'll ask both of you. What do you see in Cullen's game that you really appreciate, that you love about his game?
He's very athletic. He runs the ball really well. I'll say that. Runs the ball a lot better than I ever have. I mean, what he brings with his legs is really impressive. And I mean, the kid, it's undeniable. I mean, baseball, football, he's got a huge arm. Yeah. I mean, that's the notion with him, and that's just super impressive. His arm strength and his athleticism is really something I've tried to, you know, I can't really match, but, you know, trying to improvise with and what I can do.
Yeah, you're putting up big numbers too, though. So, all right, same thing, same question.
Yeah, I would say every ball he throws, he don't really have a bad ball, is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'll have bad balls here and there. When Kale throws it, it's there. Always, almost every time.
I love it. Thank you both so much.
I don't like all the lovey-dovey stuff.
We're positive. We're positive here. Yeah. We're being positive.
Oh, come on. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Thank you so much for both being on. Like I said, this is his first 2 student athletes we've ever had on, so there you go.
And hopefully not the last two.
Oh, no, we'll do that much more this season. So
I love it.
Thank you to both of you. Good luck this season. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for having us.
All right.
Thank you.
That was a lot of fun. 2 of the best young men and football players on the Illinois Quad Cities. Kale Filler and Cullen Schwigen joined us last night. A really fun show, The View from the West, kickoff party, powered by OTA, or however you want to say it. Greg and I combining forces, all part of a new River Rivals media network that will be continuing to roll out over the next several weeks and months and all that kind of stuff as well. So a ton of fun last night, and two good young people. That's the fun of what we get to do. That's the fun of, I think what we've always gotten to do is celebrate young people. That's what I love about doing it. Greg's one of those people as well that loves to tell great stories about people in our area, and those are two good kids right there for sure. So we have more to get to coming up after this. In fact, did I just play I did the Kale and Cullen Schwigen segment. We do have football back at Alleman High School as well. So we will catch up with Alleman head coach Tom Barber from last night's show. Right after this, you're watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. A fantastic Monday it is. A little hot, but it's supposed to be breaking, and we're supposed to get some great weather. In fact, like fall-like weather next weekend. I look at next weekend as the last weekend of summer because football returns the following weekend in full swing. So, and then it's fall in my mind. So, a lot to get to on today's show. Looking back at a fun night last night, we did a off the air kickoff party. A View from the West kickoff party off the air there as well. Just celebrating high school football down at the other bar in Moline, and it was a ton of fun. A lot of coaches, a lot of great people there, a lot of good food. If you guys came out, thank you. You can check out the entire show on both this YouTube page and then, of course, the View from the West YouTube page as well. And if you're watching my show and you're in the Illinois Quad Cities and you're not following and subscribing to View from the West, shame on you. You should be doing that as well. So football season is officially here, and that's where you need to be when it comes to high school football in the state of Illinois. View from the West doing a fantastic job. So, but last night was a lot of fun, and it was great for me because I got to look up and I got to see Alleman football being back in the house. And coming up this Sunday coming up, we'll have the Western Big Six kickoff banquet. That's at the Rock Island Botanical Center coming up on Sunday. We'll talk about that throughout the week as well and all those kind of things. But Alleman back playing high school football, varsity football, I should say. And I'm super excited about it. I'm an alum. My kids go there. I got a kid that goes there. The other ones will as well. And I know there's an excitement right now at Alleman High School because varsity football is less than 2 weeks away from returning and playing games. And so it was great to catch up with their new head coach, Tom Barber last night at the other bar in Moline. Check it out.
We're joined now, as we just talked about, the head coach of the Alleman Pioneers, Tom Barber. Coach, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for stopping down. Talk a little bit about, kind of the excitement around the program, just getting back to Friday nights and playing some varsity football.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. This is fantastic, the things you guys are doing here. The community's super excited about getting that varsity program back. And just the seniors, I think, are probably the most excited because the last time they had any kind of varsity was they were freshmen.
Yeah.
So they didn't get a whole lot of playing time. So getting them back in, having that one last senior year where they can have that varsity games, I think is a big thing, and everyone's super excited and super supportive of everything that we're doing. So it's been a real good thing so far.
I guess first off, too, we have Morrissey and Welch up here. We're just assuming best-looking coaches. Why? There's a new guy in town, right?
That's right.
The beer and everything. It's a good look. No, Coach, we talked when you got the job, and it was a strange way it happened. Obviously it was late in the game. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit how it came about and how you became the head coach?
Yeah, it's just the old head coach ended up just abruptly resigning, which I don't know anything about that, but I saw an opening, and I knew all about the Alleman tradition and then the history, so I put my name in the hat and did a few rounds of interviews, and they ended up offering me the job, and accepted right there on the spot. Couldn't be more excited about it. So it's just one of those things that kind of came out. Wasn't really looking, and it just happened to be there. And I'm just glad that they chose me.
How much did you have to hit the ground running when it came to? It was a quick. And we talked. You didn't. You kind of knew what was there, but you wouldn't really know.
Yeah.
What have you found when you got there? What do you like? Yeah. What do you see when it comes to Alleman football this year?
Yeah. Well, everyone says we hit the ground running in the summer, and we were going about 100 miles an hour before we even hit the turf, so we were screeching tires is what we were doing. But we got some really good athletes at the skill position. We're going to be, I think, in most schools we're going to say it's going to be a little bit thin up front at the defensive line, little thin there, low numbers there. But our senior, junior athletes really kind of stuck out to me. Really good, really hard-working kids, and they're putting in the effort, and you can see it, especially in this first week of practice.
Absolutely.
Coach, I saw you at the 7-on-7 over at Assumption. Talk about what you're working on, at that camp, and then what you're working on, throughout the off season. Like you said, it's kind of hit the ground running. What are some things you're really focused on with your student athletes to kind of make sure that come week one we know what we're doing?
Yeah, a big thing is preaching fundamentals. We kind of started from the ground up, so we kind of broke everything down and went to that fundamental aspect to make sure that our fundamentals were good, and then introducing our new scheme on both offense and defense, making sure they knew what was going on. So we've been really emphasizing on the fundamental part on both offense and defense, and then making sure that everyone knows what's going on in our offensive and defensive scheme, and emphasizing if you have questions, just ask them, because now's the time to ask them, because you won't be able to at game time. You're not going to be able to come over to the sideline and be like, hey, coach, I don't know what I'm doing. So making sure that they understand what's going on first, so that way when we get to that game, we can play fast.
Yeah, I have Alleman students, so I know what it's like right now. And I got a son who's excited to get to a football game on Friday night. I got nieces that are excited that football's back at Alleman High School. What's it like right now? Because it's been a minute, and I know your boys are chomping at the bit to get out there and play football once again.
Yeah, it's one of those. We've only had a week of practice, but they're probably already hit somebody else from a different school. So, everyone's asking, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's practice going? How are your kids looking? It's like they're great. They're awesome. They're working really hard. It's like it's only day 2, but everyone I run into that I know is asked how the team's doing, how the program's looking, how the kids looking, how's practice going, all that stuff. So just the excitement, not even just from Rock Island, but just everyone that I know, even from Moline, East Moline, Silvis, even on the other side of the river, Davenport and Bettendorf, everyone I know just asking how everything's going, because I think everyone's excited to see Alleman get back to varsity football.
Talk about, Coach, you come from a Riverdale program that not is just a great, I think, a well-led program with Coach Guy Dierikx. We'll talk to him in a minute.
Yeah.
But talk about how that program specifically did what you guys have done now and getting back to varsity football after taking time off. How much do you look back on maybe what Coach Dierikx had to do and what you were doing alongside of him to now help you prepare for this job?
Yeah, they didn't have a varsity season. I think it was 2022. So looking back on that, coming into this, the same situation, just a little bit longer time off. Again, same thing. Broke down to those fundamentals. Made sure that we were doing things the right way, given that extra attention to that younger class, and I think we've done a pretty good job at Alleman so far, is making sure those younger kids get those extra attention too. Because, again, we want to make sure that we build on this, so years down the road we're good to go and we have that successful program. But just looking back on that, how we did things, breaking things down, make sure fundamentally sound, we were good to go. Making sure, again, understanding the scheme offensive and defensively, and again, making sure that our kids give 100% effort.
Can you talk to us about how, give us some strengths, or what will this team look like if they're successful this year? Some guys that have pleasantly surprised you, or not even surprised you, but you got to practice and you said, I'm excited about him. I think that's going to be fun.
A couple of our senior linemen I've been pleasantly surprised with, which is how hard they work. I think they're probably going to be our anchors up front. And then our skill guys, our quarterback, he's a junior, Kelly Honert, big physical kid, just a big physical kid, and leaning on him when it comes to the offense and being that leader. And then our senior skill running backs, Adam Van Meigen, Kyle Bogan, Will Ottentomes, those guys are super athletic, and very surprised with, again, how well they bought into what I want to try to do at Alleman, and them leading those younger guys with when it comes to drills and getting on the field and coming back and hustling in between the lines, and all the cliche stuff and all that. But that's good.
Have you looked at all at week one opponent? Or are you still kind of just building, focused on yourself, or is it Walter Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a couple game films from last year, so I've looked at it and I've watched it a few times. I think one of them I've watched probably 3 or 4 times. But when it comes to us, we haven't really mentioned anything to our kids yet about what they want to run, what they want to do, things like that, because again, it's one of those things we want to be able to focus on ourselves, make sure that we're getting better at what we need to do and control what we need to control. But once we get probably, I would say probably about halfway through this week and then leading into the next week, we'll really start focusing on that. But yeah, I've watched them a few times to make sure I understand what's going on, so I have an idea of how we're going to attack them.
All right, let's put the football stuff aside. You do good at this stuff. What there's other parts to the job, and the football's the easy thing sometimes. This kind of stuff, the banquet next week, the behind the scenes stuff. What's that been like for you? You've done great with this so far.
Yeah, that's been. Trying again, interviewing for head coaching jobs in the past, I've kind of understood a little bit about the behind the scenes, but man, it's like hitting a brick wall sometimes. Holy cow, I have to deal with that too. I'm like, okay, all right, let's do it. Let's just go. Yeah. And you gotta take it where you can get it, really. So I got to do this. All right, let's go. Let's do it. And all in 100% on anything I got to do, and anything the administrator asks me, or anything that I have to do, even when it comes to behind the scene, ordering new travel bags or getting new shirts or even coaching apparel. It's like, all right, I knew I had to do that, but man, I didn't realize how often I had to talk to these guys at the same time. But I think I've handled it pretty well.
Love it. No, you're doing a great job.
Again, you learned under Coach Dierikx. He's the pro's pro at interviews, so you got it.
Yeah.
He did shave his head once on TV, so the pressure's on.
It just so happens I have a shave. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about that, because underneath this hat, there's not a lot up there. So.
That's what I said. The best part of doing what we do now is we can wear hats.
Yeah.
Heck, I can wear earphones.
I think it'd be one of those things. It'd be more surprising if I shaved my beard in a pregame speech and shaved my head.
Well, we can adapt. We can adapt. So, before I let you go, how did Jim Taylor get the gig over me? I feel like that's a personal.
You're gonna have to talk to him about that. I really don't know how that happened, but no, he's a great guy. I talked to him yesterday. He's a good guy. I'm looking forward to working with him too. So
absolutely, he's a legend. I didn't apply.
Yeah, there you go. It's great. It's great to have him on board, and it's great to have Alleman football amongst the broadcast going on in the Western Big Six. I think the Western Big Six is stronger when it's whole and when Alleman's back in the mix. I'm excited.
I agree with that. Yeah. I'm super excited to be able to be that guy to lead them back on Friday night. So
great, Coach. Really appreciate you being here. Good luck this season. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
It was a lot of fun to be chatting with the new Alleman football coach. Pioneers back in action 1 week from this Friday. They will hit the field at home for the first time in a couple years. So everyone excited at Alleman High School, I know, about the Pioneer and their football season and their football team, I should say, the varsity team being back in action. A lot of fun last night down at the other bar in Moline. If you missed any of that, you could go check it out right now. But don't go anywhere. We got more of that coming ahead. But if you want to watch the whole show, it's on this YouTube page, on the View from the West YouTube page as well. So go check out the entire show. We had a ton of fun. But when we get back from the break, we got one more break to get to. When we do get back, we will be joined by two more head coaches from last night. Two guys we've talked to on this show recently, but it's always fun to have them together. Riverdale's Guy Dierikx and Monmouth Roseville's Jeremy Adolphson. That and much more straight ahead. You're watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Experience today. It is that time of year, Mobile Party Experience. The best way to take your tailgate, party, whatever it is, take it up another notch. If you stopped by the other bar yesterday, Tim O'Neill bringing out one of the party trailers, which was great to see. You'll see some more party trailers right here on the show coming up on Fridays. We're going to try to take this show on the road and do some fun things with it as well. So Mobile Party Experience will be a big part of that coming up as we roll through the football season as well. First off, welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday in the Quad Cities. We had a lot of fun last night as we've been talking about the View from the West kickoff party going on at the other bar. Great turnout. I would say 60-ish people came out to check out the show, which was awesome. And two people that drove a little bit. Guy Dierikx made the trip down from Port Byron, not that bad. But Jeremy Adolphson, dragging his lovely wife up to the Quad Cities to hang out with us. But we had a blast. Both of those guys, good people, really good coaches, and we enjoyed catching up with them. Here is Guy Dierikx and Jeremy Adolphson, along with Greg Armstrong and myself from last night's show down at the other bar in Moline.
Coaches, thanks so much for being here. Coach, we ran into each other in the offseason at a 7-on-7. Talk a little bit about, there's excitement around your program, and I think it's, the buzz is there. Is there a certain, kind of maintain the buzz, but also build them up at the same time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's that excitement that's been there that hasn't been there for a while. The kids are doing a great job, and it's one of those things that, my oldest son, he's going to be in 8th grade, and when I was at Davenport North, we used to have, the kids used to teach me a word a week, to try and get in with the culture and that excitement. And so back at Riverdale, these kids, right, as teachers, as coaches, they teach you a bunch of these words. And my kid came at me the other day, and he's like, "Dad, were you getting interviewed by somebody?" Matt, I had one the other night, and Channel 8 was out the other day, and he's like, "Dad, these people, they're glazing you in the football program." I'm like,
that's a
Miles,
good thing, right?
I guess.
I think
I
that's
don't
a good
know.
thing.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, I like donuts, so I guess. But
Obviously, we all like donuts.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of excitement and buzz in the community and the program. Kids are working hard, and just trying to maintain that, throughout this heat and all. And I feel like for us, with Tom taking the Alleman job and trying to, bringing somebody back on, bringing Brian Creer back, who's been at Augie for the last 7 years, that excitement is back there. But it's everything but normal. I feel like over these last, we were trying to fit, 8 months, an entire year into the last month and a half. And so it's been a little bit difficult, but keeping that going is exciting.
Yeah, Coach Adolphson here. Thank you for making the drive up. I appreciate that. How exciting is it down there? And we've talked to a lot of these coaches, and it's coming fast. But you've been at it. Are you that coach that needs 2 weeks to go quickly and hit somebody else? Are you that coach that could probably use another 2 weeks after that?
Yeah, I would take a couple months probably if they gave it to us. You never quite feel like you're ready. The kids obviously want the exact opposite of that. They're ready to play a game tomorrow, whether they really are or not. But yeah, it should be another fun year. We've returned some really good kids from last year. We don't return the depth that we had, a year ago, but the top-end guys are there. And the fun thing about this season, and we talked about it before, is we got a lot of kids that have never had to do it yet, and you think they can do it, and they kind of are starting to think they can do it. Yeah. And so you kind of see that progress throughout the years. So, we'll have a lot of younger kids playing that we haven't done in a few years probably, and definitely got to replace some guys from the last couple of years. But I think the excitement level is really high. Our senior class has had a fantastic career. We got 5 of them that started 2 years ago on a team that won a playoff game, and then last year, winning the conference championship, and now they're back as seniors, and you start adding those other seniors into the mix, and some of our juniors, and really some freshmen and sophomores are going to be pretty close to playing, if not playing right off the bat. So it's it's moving quickly, but it's for me. The only thing I want to go fast is pregame of every game. I want to just start. Yeah. I used to want to see all this stuff in pregame. Now I'm like, let's talk to the officials, let's flip the coin, and let's just go, because those 20 minutes feels like 2 hours.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Coach, talk about, last year you win the conference, and then honestly the playoff run, it ended way shorter than you hoped.
Why you got to bring that up?
What
are we doing?
So my question is, what do you take away from the win against Princeton, which was, not only just the win as an upset, but the score itself was impressive. But then you counter that with, hey, in the playoffs, we didn't quite get it,
Yeah, I mean, we know 3A North is always going to be a bear. Like I said, 2 years before that, we're 3-4. We beat Orion and Sherrard, neither one super convincingly. Week 8 and Week 9, get in the playoffs. We played North Boone, who's 7-2 out of the Big Northern, that lost to Byron and Dixon. That was it.
Yeah.
And we go there and we kind of have our way with them first round, Yep. And then the next year, we're playing a 6-3 PBL team that was really 6-0, had some injuries, lost to 3 of the best teams in the state. Got a few kids back, and they came and took it to us at our place, and we thought we stole it. We thought we got out of there with the victory, and then they beat us with 20 seconds left. And it just shows how tough every week is, and I think that's the way our conference is. I mean, if you don't show up ready to play, it's going to be very, very difficult. We don't get to play Riverdale this year. If I look at that side, we play 4 of the 6 teams.
But if you did, you'd kill them, right?
I mean, easy to say that now. But the 4 teams we play, I'm like, they're all good. But I was like, the 2 teams we don't play, they're good too, EP and Riverdale. Yeah. And then you look at our side, it's kind of the same thing. Like, they're just, most conferences have like 2 or 3 or 4 schools towards the bottom. Those schools don't exist in the track. So I think it's a good lesson for our kids just to understand that you may look really good one week, and the next week, if you don't show up ready to play, you could get embarrassed, real quickly. And the Princeton, they're still the team to beat, without a doubt. They were our homecoming last year, which people thought I was crazy for that, but it turned into a good deal. I have found out that we are their homecoming this year, so they're looking for revenge in every way possible. But that's a long ways out. I mean, we play 4 really good football teams before we see them, and yeah, it's going to be a battle each and every week. And I think our kids are excited about it. I think there's high expectations, which is great. Sometimes I have to temper it a little bit and say, you understand who we lost, right? You understand the guys that walked out the door that won't be back, but it's always good to have that kind of excitement as opposed to like people not even aware of football season starting. Yeah. People have been waiting for this group to get another crack at it probably since the second they walked off the field last year.
Yeah. Piggyback on that, Coach Dierikx, because there's a lot of excitement in Riverdale. I'm looking through you at Brian Stocking, Mr. Port Byron over there.
That's
and
right.
There is, and it's exciting to see.
I brought him a copy of the the loyalty and fight songs.
Good.
He was asking about that at Tugfest, so getting those pipes ready.
He knows how to
those
sing
pipes
it.
ready.
God bless. But there's a great excitement, and I think, and we talked last week, it's that senior class that's been through so much that kind of leads the way for you. Kind of talk about that special group, because it's been a journey. Everybody talks about their journeys, and it's been a journey for that senior class, but it's paying dividends hopefully this year.
Yeah, I mean, that their effort, and we kind of sat down, and where we were at as a program, what we wanted to do was quite a bit different, 3 years ago than where we're at right now. And so that excitement has been building for a while. We sat down, had that come to Jesus meeting with the entire community, really, and what that looked like. So They bought in, the kids bought in, the parents bought in, and really I bought in too. It's one of those things that when I was talking with a couple other coaches earlier that were asking how that went, and it's, when you take over as a head coach for the first time at 22 years old, I think you're kind of, a little bit young and naive at that point in time, and so always learning. And so taking some of those things, I took that to heart and changed that program and culture a little bit, things that I did, but also the kids and community have done that and have really taken it to the nth degree. And so the fact that we're here is not anything that I've done, really much differently, changed a few things here and there, but it's more that excitement and that they've built in, and the feather is in their cap for sticking with it, for sticking at Riverdale, and wanting to change that narrative and that culture.
What will it look like this year? And you have guys coming back, and we have coaches up here, and coaches are great, but it's about the athletes. Who are some guys that you're excited to continue to watch grow and lead this team this year?
Yeah, it's every year, you take that next step. And so for us, we have a lot of 3-year starters going to be this year because, that first year we were back, a lot of them were sophomores at that point in time. And so for us, it starts on the offensive side of the ball with Kane Beckett was a first-team all-conference performer last year. Gage Heinsohn was second-team running back for us. And then up front, those guys have been putting in the work. They're a couple of you. We kind of talked about that the other day. The videos of our linemen, Jackson Fritsch squatting 500 pounds, and just that excitement building around that. Yeah. He was an all-conference performer. Marcus Bennett was a first-team all-conference guard on the offensive side, and so pairing that with our younger kids coming up a little bit is it's going to be exciting. With me switching over to the offensive side of the ball now, trying to find ways to get those guys the ball in space, and as many people as we had, now it's not about having to shorten the game because the numbers that we have, it's battle of attrition. Now it's okay, we can be a little bit more creative to find ways. And on the defense side of the ball, it kind of starts in the defensive backfield for us with the guys that are returning, and Jackson Tegler and Landon Peterson were all conference performers, and then some young kids that are ready to step up and do some great things at that linebacker position too.
Just like he was talking about, go through some of the personnel. Who are the names that excite you this year? You talked about there's some names that are gone, but there's some talent coming back for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Nick Houston, 3-year starter for us, first-team unanimous all-conference kid. A year ago on the defensive side and was second team on the offensive side. He'll probably become a little bit more of the feature back this year. Yep. And then defensively, he's even going to make a position change, which was tough because he was, I thought, the best stand-up defensive end in the conference. We're going to move to middle linebacker and kind of need that big body back there to replace what we lost. And we got Andrew Way, another 3-year starter, another unanimous first-team all-conference linebacker a year ago. They'll be very helpful for us. He was a part of the backfield last year too. Those two guys will be huge for us as far as the skill positions go. Up front, we're pretty lucky. We return Brody Dodd and Landon Angelo, 2 unanimous first-team all-conference players on the left side of our line, and they kind of do everything for us. They're the big hosses that really can knock people off the ball. They're also the guys that we pull and move around quite a bit as well, and we'll hopefully lead a younger group, from center to right tight end. Everybody's going to be different on the other side, so we really need their leadership. We got Clay Castile who's going to take over the quarterback position. He started on defense for 2 years. He's a different player than Andy was. He's a very good competitor, very instinctive. He will run the show very, very well for us. Not a doubt in my mind there. And then return some other nice pieces that have started for us last year. Cody Johnson's a senior nose tackle, kind of came out of nowhere for us last year. And by the end of the season, I thought he was one of the best defensive linemen around. He was just really, really tough. And we got a couple juniors that will be pretty solid. Landon Montre and Lars Berggren started a year ago. But otherwise, we're looking at a lot of new faces, and not a lot of them will be junior, senior new faces. There's going to be, as I said, a few sophomores in the mix, and believe it or not, a few freshmen in the mix. But they've been working hard. They've been working at it. We actually talked with I talked with all of our sophomore starters from 2 years ago and last year, and just said, hey, we need your help. You're going to be good. There's no doubt in my mind you guys will play well, but I need your leadership. You've never had to do that before. You always just were great players for the seniors that were leaders. Now I need you to go talk to those young guys and inexperienced guys, because if you tell them that you got their back and you try to pick them up, that's going to mean so much more than when I say it to them, and so hopefully that kind of hit home, because there's a big difference between being a great player and a great leader, and we're going to ask those guys to be great leaders for us this year if we're going to be any good.
Yeah. Coach, talk about your side of the conference. It's it's tough. I mean, it's a lot of parity, right? I mean, top to bottom, there shouldn't be any really bad teams. They're all going to be competitive, fighting for a playoff spot.
Oh, absolutely. You know, top to bottom, you know, both sides of the conference, it's going to be one of those battle-tested, you know, Coach kind of talked about earlier. You know, on paper, you know, you think you have advantages here and there, but you just got to show up and do what you got to do and, you know, control the things that you can, and the rest is going to take care of itself. But, I mean, really, all of these, I mean, from a couple teams that we beat last year, you know, now to be the point where we're kind of channeling our inner Jim Mora here with playoffs. But, you know,
there's the promo.
Yeah, there you go. Playoffs. Well, you know, in a couple years ago, we were just trying to win a game, you know? And so to be in this point, just feel excited about it and, you know, excited to have this opportunity to play meaningful games, competitive games, that we've been supported by our community, and so really excited about that too.
Yeah. Last quick question for you, Coach. I know, you know, when you took the job at Monmouth-Roseville, they had what, 1 or 2 playoff appearances? I don't know if they had won a playoff game, but I remember talking to you early on and saying we want to be a team that's recognized in the same breath as a Newman, where when they walk in, you know who that program is. You know what they're about. You know what they represent. Do you feel like you're getting there? Do you feel like you've got there? Take me through kind of the journey.
He's never happy, Greg. They're going to say, like,
no, it's something we talk about a lot with our kids. And last year, 4 playoff appearances in a row was awesome because we had several seniors that we took on the bus when they were freshmen to get that playoff experience. And so that was a big deal to those guys to make it 4 years in a row. You know, finally winning a conference championship outright. You know, we'd only shared one before, but to win one outright last year, that was a big deal. And you know, the thing I always kind of bring up, you know, you can do anything one time, and that's a really good team and probably a pretty good year. But the good programs, like you said, are going to be there year in and year out. And you know, I think we're getting in that spot, and this year might be a great test of that, honestly, because those top 5 or 6 dudes, like if it was 8-man football, we would be ready to roll with anybody this year. But if our program's as solid as we think it is, then these seniors that have never really played much will step up this year. And we'll find a way to get those freshmen and sophomores to contribute when they need to hopefully hold that standard for us. And if we do that, then maybe we have achieved that spot where it's not just, hey, remember they had those 5 or 6 really good players and they were good for a year or two. You know, we went from just scraping into the playoffs to last year getting 8 wins. It's a totally different deal for us. So, yeah, I think this is an opportunity maybe to prove it a little bit, you know. And I think our seniors, honestly, and I told them selfishly, you should look at the loss of the playoffs should motivate you even more to be like, well, that's not happening my year. Like, that's not happening when I'm a senior. That's not how I'm going out. So, you know, you always look for motivation there. But I think, maybe this year is the test. So if we're one of those 3-16s I told you that the conference is going to have that's really good but didn't beat anybody during the regular season, then maybe we didn't make it. But if we find a way to win 6, 7, whatever it is, you know, we'll I shouldn't have said that, by the way. 7 or 8, how about we go with that? And you know, if we're able to do that, then maybe we are a program at this point that's gotten on that level where, you know, Princeton's been, Kewaunee been, Newman's been, you know, Mercer County for years, and those other teams that have just been really, really good. Rock Ridge, obviously, don't want to forget about them. We never beat them. So, but yeah, this could be a good test for us.
And if you don't get to that level, guys, it's the coach's fault.
Well,
right? That's what.
That's funny. Actually, that's part of my speech to my 2-year starters.
Well, here, you know what? If it's not the coach's fault, it's the AD's fault over there too. Yeah.
I told us if we're not good enough, it's going to be my fault and your fault because we're the ones who have the most control over this thing. It's not going to be the young kids' fault. But,
social media always tells me it's your guys' fault.
Yeah,
so.
I've already done my evaluation. I'm going to be invited back next year regardless.
There you go.
I love it.
Thank you so much to both of you. Good luck this season. To me, like the Three Rivers Athletic Conference, and kind of hopefully, knock on wood, of all conferences, it's pretty stable right now, and it's a lot of really good programs, a lot of really good communities that love football. So we love following along with it. Good luck to both of you, and hopefully we're talking 9, 10, 11 weeks into the season, right? So.
That was a ton of fun as well last night at the other bar in Moline, the View from the West and Off the Air kickoff party. A lot of fun, kind of reliving some of those moments today as we work our way through a Monday here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Of course, you can check out the entire show from last night at this YouTube page, the View from the West YouTube page. All those places you can check it out. It was a ton of fun. Also, other people on the show last night, or other coaches, I should say. Rover Williamsfield represented, Bureau Valley, Kewaunee was in the house. A lot more. Brian Stocking was on the show. Bless his heart. who else do we have on there? Oh, Kyle Kampmeyer and Ty Taylor, both on the show as well. So go check it out. It was a ton of fun, over 2 hours of high school football as we get ready to start the season 1 week from this Friday. It should be a lot of fun. We've got one more break to get to, and then we will kind of wrap up the show and get you set up for what this week looks like on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. It's all straight ahead right after this break. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. We've been reliving a really fun show, highlighting a really fun show last night at the other bar in Moline, the View from the West and Off the Air kickoff party for high school football on the Illinois side of the river. Tons of great people came out. I wish we would have counted. I don't know, it was a way to count. Easily 65 people at the bar last night. Celebrating high school football, talking about getting ready for the season. Awesome coaches from United Township and Moline and Alleman and Riverdale and Monmouth Roseville and Rover Williamsfield and Q1. I'm going to miss out on some of them. So tons of great people there. So go check out the show if you missed it. If you missed today's show, it's kind of highlighted throughout today's show, but you can check out the entire show from last night on this YouTube page or the View from the West YouTube page. Either or. No matter what you're doing, subscribe to both. We'd appreciate that as well. High school football season will be here before you know it. Coming up, people this week on the show that we're working on lining up and getting is Chad Leistico to talk Iowa football as the season is right around the corner. We're also looking ahead to snagging Jake Brend, who's on his way to Ireland right now as Iowa State plays this Saturday. It's game week for Iowa State. So we'll effort that as well. Love to talk to Jordan Delp. Corey Ross is hopefully on the show tomorrow. A lot of fun things to get to as we work our way through August and get to the start of the college football season. Tomorrow we'll start back with our high school previews, kind of focus on the Iowa side tomorrow. With so much Illinois talk today as well. But so many great things to get to. We're going to be taking the show on the road several times throughout the next couple months, including on Fridays of the high school football season is the plan. We'll get more of that out to you guys as we go. And then also the off-the-air survivor pool will be announced later and unveiled later on this week as well. So we want you guys to get involved, kind of like the NCAA tournament party. win some great stuff from our sponsors as well. So I want to thank you guys for watching today's show, kind of a recap of last night. I also want to thank our fantastic sponsors for allowing us to do this show each and every day. Excited to welcome Skiles Driving School as an advertiser and a sponsor as well. You'll see his commercial starting here real soon. One of the reasons I didn't have a show on Friday was I was meeting with and shooting that commercial. It should be a lot of fun, starring my niece Molly. We're really excited about that. So obviously to him and to all these awesome sponsors, thank you for allowing me to do this goofy show each and every weekday right here in the Quad Cities. Loving doing it. It's been an absolute blast. We're just getting started. Also, football season right around the corner. I'm excited to host the Hawkeye Tailgate Show on the Hawkeye Pregame Radio Network coming up this fall as well. So football season is here, and it's an exciting time. So thank you guys for watching today's show. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo.